talking about
Leading Edge with Mindy Odlin and Stacey Collins.
Here we are. We're back again. It's The Leading Edge with Mindy and Stacey, and we are having so much fun. We're having so much fun reminiscing about being a newcomer or welcoming newcomers or things that we have seen that made us go, is that a good idea or what? I remember, I will share my own experience when I was first brand new, green, not really knowing what I was doing, and full of enthusiasm and full of passion for the mission and just wanting everybody to be as excited as I was. And I still have to temper myself because I am zeal is easy for me, and I can very easily overwhelm people. And in the early days, I didn't realize that. And we would find that we would have people come in as newcomers. And because we were new and we did need volunteers and we needed, we needed a lot of things. And so people would come in and, oh my gosh, you're so cool. You're so awesome. Would you be on our board? Would you serve on our blah, blah, blah? And we were just like, what can you do for us? What can you do for us? What can you do for us? And, and there's a time for that, but it's not when they're new and it's not when they're getting engaged. It's not until they really have had a chance to sink their teeth into what is this thing? What is this teaching? And do I want to align with it and engage in it? So that's what we're talking about. And we've been talking about the live service. And I just want to share this as a point of follow-up because I shared my experience with the mega churches, the large churches, and it was so positive. I think sometimes we get the contact information and then we don't want to bother people. We have such an allergy towards evangelism that we sometimes forget that when someone gives you their contact information, I mean, think about being at a party and you ask someone for their number and then you don't call them, or you ask someone for their email address and you don't email them. It seems like a little off-putting, right? So yeah, so what I've seen in the megachurch that I thought was great. So I fill out my little thank you card, my little contact card, put it in the offering basket, off it goes. This is my experience. This is what happened. So, and I know I'm gonna hit some triggers for some people, but I have to tell you, it was a positive experience for me. Sunday, I took my daughter, I registered her for a youth program, so they had her contact information and they had mine because I filled out a welcome card. Monday, I got a phone call. I didn't pick it up because I didn't recognize the number, but they left a message, very friendly. It was the campus minister. Hey, we saw you came out. Just wanted to say thanks so much for coming and visiting. If you have any questions, please give me a call. Here's my number. Would love to talk to you. Hope to see you again sometime. Thanks again. So no pressure, no call me back. Just if you have questions, reach out. And I thought, well, that was nice. The next day, Tuesday, I get another phone call, don't recognize the number, don't pick it up. It's like, hey, this is, Jim Bob. I'm the youth director here at the church you visited. And I just wanted to let you know how much we enjoyed having your daughter in our youth program. She was such a delight. If you have any questions about our youth programs, anything I can help you with, here's my number. Please feel free to reach out, give me a call. We hope you come back sometime soon. And that was that. And I thought, well, that was nice. They like my kid. That feels good. So the next day, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, I checked my mailbox. There is a card in the mail. Hi, I'm your chaplain. I saw that you filled out your address, and I just want you to know if you have any prayer requests, you can reach out to me. Handwritten note on personal stationery. You can reach out to me, and I am here to pray with you and for you anytime you need. Thank you so much for coming out and visiting. So I'm like, wow, that was cool. Thursday, I get an email that says, we're so glad you came and visited. We just want you to know we have a spaghetti dinner coming up for our new people. We have free childcare and pizza for the kids, dinner for you, and we love to get to know you. Not we love you to tell you about us. We would love to get to know you. Please let us know RSVP if you can make it. We'd love to see you. So that was Thursday. So I wasn't able to go. I didn't get anything else. So it wasn't like they were hounding me forever. It was just a very nice, hey, you gave us your contact information and we want you to know we received it and we're happy you came and thank you. And it felt so good. Now, the other thing they did, so I left my contact information. The other thing I did was every time they launched a new series, I would get a postcard in the mail. So, hey, we're about to start a new series about relationships. We thought you might want to come out and see us. We're about to start a new series about abundance and prosperity. You might want to come out and enjoy this series. So about, 4 times a year, maybe 5 times a year, I would get a card in the mail that's like, oh, well, that looks interesting. So when you see these ministers that are doing these 4-part series, 6-part series, it is an intentional strategy for engaging newcomers. It gives you a reason to reach out and reconnect that doesn't feel slimy, that doesn't feel manipulative. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do anything to you other than invite you to a topic that might be of interest to you. So I share that as my best experience of being a newcomer and feeling like that community really cares about me. That community really would love to embrace me, and they've made it so easy to know what the next step is. And that's really the goal. So when I fulfill, give you my contact information, I want you to use that contact information to make it clear to me what's my next step with no pressure, but what is that next step, and how do I get more plugged in? What are the options for that? So that's my best case scenario. I don't know. So Stacey, you have any thoughts or comments? Just is it popping any memories for you either?
One of the things that stuck out for me the most, well, two things. One was the visit that you had when you said that the person that asked you about, hey, are you interested in small groups? They're really awesome. Let me know. That they didn't even have a name tag, meaning that this is just a person, this is a community culture kind of thing, right? That when you see somebody new, and you're the best testimonial for that, right? It doesn't have to be a volunteer or paid staff member to reach out to new people, right? Just to have that as part of the community culture. And then the other thing I love that you said that the church did when they reached out to you is they wanted to get to know you. And it feels like they were sincere in that desire, not we want you to sign up for all these things, or we're looking for volunteers already for this, just we want to get to know you and see how we might be of service to you. I think that's a really key piece to reaching out to newcomers.
It is it's a paradigm shift, because we're in our, when we're leaders, we're thinking about what does the organization need? We need more leaders. We need more this, that, and the other. And we can kind of get lost in that and forget that when people walk in the door, it's because they need something. And how can we be that for them? And then, be there for them, support them through whatever they're going through in their life. And that's first. And then if the teachings resonate, and that's where we're going to go further on in this series is, then how do you introduce them to the teachings and have them experience the teachings and then move them into leadership? So all those are phases. But when someone is walking in the door, what are we really fully present to them? Are we really fully here for them? To what degree do we care? To what degree do we notice? And so that's why I love small groups. So let's kind of shift gears and talk about the small group experience. So you work with the small groups at Unity of Houston. How do you see small groups working in terms of, somebody comes into a group, they come into your ministry for the first time through a small group? What's been happening, and how do you cultivate those relationships?
Yeah, I find, and not just because I'm the director of small groups, but it's one of the easiest, and I would say, maybe use the word safe again, but that people feel the safest to participate right away, because they're not having to stand up in front of a sanctuary full of people. They don't have to come out and say exactly where they are at in their spiritual journey, what relationship they've had with, they can share as much as of themselves as they feel comfortable doing so in a small group of people. And they are also encouraged to invite their friends to join in, or whoever they've, connected. I've had people literally come to church and join a small group the next week. And it's just so powerful when you can do that, because they immediately have a group of people that are supporting them and getting to know them. And of course, the small groups love to have new people join them, And the other piece to that is that people join the groups and find the church through the small group. So it goes both ways. Sometimes people find the church and then you get them plugged in, but we also see people find a small group. They've heard about it from their friend or family member, And then they start watching service. Then they start becoming more interested in what it's all about. These are cool people. So maybe I kind of like some of the things that, obviously some of the things they like. I'll start watching service. I'll start, so it works both ways.
Yeah. I've had people who have come in through a small group who, I had a small group where I had somebody, it was for entrepreneurs. And I had one woman who was a devoted member of another church. She wasn't looking for a church community, but she wanted a spiritual place where she could talk about her business. And so this was that for her. And in the end, she was like, well, this is really interesting. It's great to know this philosophy is there. She asked how she could make a contribution because that was the culture that she was used to is, you give. And so she asked how she could make a contribution. So she wasn't necessarily a potential member, but she did benefit from it. And that's really a big shift for a lot of us is why do you do this? And people will say, well, why do we do small groups if they don't join, if they don't come to Sunday? Why do we do small groups if they don't become members? And the answer is because that's our mission. Our mission is to serve people. And if your mission is to create transformation, then this is how you do it. And it's great when it works out that those people become members, but even if they don't, when we're attached to, oh, you've got to come to Sunday, or we're attached to, oh, you got to tithe, or you got to volunteer, or you got to do anything, when we're attached, when we're putting any kind of attachment to our teachings, people can feel it. And it's a turnoff versus really coming in and saying, hey, our mission is to transform lives, or whatever that mission may be. And we are here to help you transform your life. And in order to do that, we need to get to know you. So tell us about you. Tell us about your life. Tell us how we can use these teachings to support you, to pray for you, to lift you up. And when we come from that energy, then we don't have to try so hard to get them to become members.
Right.
So talk about that from your perspective, Stacey. So for someone who comes into your ministry not having seen a service, they come in because someone invited them to a small group. What is your process for that? What's your experience for embracing those people as a community, as a large community?
Yeah, so one of the things that we love to do is, like I said, encourage people to invite their friends and family members, but just people even that they think that would be interested, like you said, into not necessarily, this isn't going to be an indoctrination into unity theology. It's a group of people talking about what's alive for them, basically, at the core of it, connecting on what is alive and happening in their lives. And so as the groups go along, if we have a series and there are new people that maybe haven't attended a Sunday service, it really is the group hosts will communicate with them. I will share with the group hosts if we do have, hey, your new people might be interested in this event, or they might be interested. We are having some membership, if that is of interest to someone, membership classes, or like you said, a series or something that would be something that they're interested in, to know that they're not expected to attend anything else, but they are more than welcome to be a part of. They're part of our spiritual family to the degree that they would like to participate. And many people do go on to at least dabble, and some come on in to membership, but that's not there's never a hard ask to become a member, and there's never a hard ask for, well, didn't you like this group? So right. What are you going to do for us now? Right.
Yeah.
Just it's an embracing of where they're at, and just and we're grateful for their presence, and I trust that is being known and being felt, because I have such amazing hosts that's what they know they're there to do, create a space for connection.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've recommended before, and I'll recommend it again, is something called Group Vitals. Because Group Vitals, it's an online database system designed for your small group leaders. And what I love, one of the many things I love about it is that it is a way for someone to come into your ministry through a small group and to be able to say, hey, if you like this experience and you want to be part of our small group, can you give me your name and email address so that I can put you in our online group? And through Group Vitals, it can gather that name and contact information. And then as a ministry, you can send those postcards, or you can send a follow-up, or say we're doing a membership class or a spaghetti dinner or whatever that might be, right, to invite them into that next step. So Stacey, anything, I know you are a big fan of Group Vitals too. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I love it. It's not, so that's exactly right. When people sign up for a group, it's easy. There's a form that Group Vitals has already created. You can uh, to customize it to meet your ministry's need. But yes, it's just a simple ask for their email address and contact information. You can get other contact information as well. But then you have this database. You don't necessarily need to track them in all the ways you do it, your other church database, but you do have them to let them know about the next upcoming group series or whatever it is that you want to do. But you can stay connected with them in that way. So I would highly recommend Group Vitals as a software for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, with a small group, it's so nice because what I always, people ask me, hey, can somebody join a group after a group has already started? I'll let you share your thoughts on it too. My thought is, unless you have a group that's maybe like a recovery group where there's a really deep personal level of sharing, it's great to keep your groups open so that someone can pop in anytime, so that you're always open to newcomers and that someone could come in. What I usually say is let them come in for the first time as a guest to check it out, and then to train your group leaders to follow up then and say, hey, I loved getting to know you. I loved having you in my group. We would love for you to complete this series, complete this 6-part series, 10-part series with us. Would you like me to add you as a participant to our group instead of just a guest to our group so you can finish the series with us? So it's a short-term ask. It's an outreach. It's that point of connection. It's people inviting people to be part of what you're doing. Is that what you do? Do you have other ideas?
Yeah, sometimes we do that. Other times, what we'll do if we're at the very end of a series and someone reaches out, oh, I want to be a part of this group, we'll say, you know what, we're just finishing up, but this is the date. And we give them the date for the next, we would love for you to, and give them some information about the next series and when that starts. But it is that person to person contact that you're talking about that's so important.
It makes such a difference. And so I want to touch briefly on virtual services, because if you've got someone coming to a Zoom service or a Facebook live stream or a YouTube stream, it's still, that's your service. So what do you do when you have someone new? That's a whole new arena for a lot of us. So Stacy, talk about what you are doing as a community to engage people online.
Yeah, one of the things, and it was really easy to set up, and there's lots of places that can do it for you. You just Google search. Is we made an electronic visitor card, and so we stream to YouTube and Facebook. And so on both of those services, whenever the minister talks about welcome, and if you're here for the first time, we go ahead and pin that link to the electronic visitor form right there in the chat. We say, please let us know how we can connect with you. And people do. We have electronic visitor cards popping in the inbox every Sunday, and sometimes even throughout Sunday on other days. So what we've also done is put it on the homepage of the website, so that when people find our website for the first time, they're looking for services and, hey, you want to know some more? Here's our electronic visitor card. So then people all throughout the week have access to the form, and we've made it really simple and easy for them to fill it out. We don't ask a million questions, just a few, and get their contact information. Then we follow up from there.
I love that. So if you walk away with 2 things from today's episode, I hope it is, number 1, get their contact information, and number 2, have a follow-up plan. That is really what this is all about. And I have seen, I love the idea. This is a great thing to be doing, even if you don't do virtual services, to have an online contact card. And you'll see this if you go online, just about any website, it'll say, hey, would you like our free blah, 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 put in your name and email address, and we'll send you. So what if your ministry did here's a sermon on the basic unity teachings, or here's a download of, our core beliefs, like something simple, something that doesn't take forever to have to wade through, something that's not a huge commitment of time or energy on the part of the newcomers, something easy, but something where someone could put in their name and email address. They get the free virtual gift. So it's not chocolate, but virtual chocolate. I don't know. But you still send a virtual gift of a download or a service or a meditation or something that would introduce them to your community. And then it could even be a series of short videos over time. You're going to get a few days, like today you'll get the history of our ministry, or what unity is, or the 5 principles, whatever that might be. But to have that be something where people can opt in to be on your mailing list or email list. And I love how you said you're streaming it. You put it in the chat. When you have a YouTube channel, you can put it in the description. So people who are not watching live can go back later, and that's in the description. It's a great idea. Same with your Facebook streams. Put it in the description when you go live. So that way people can access it. Even if they aren't watching live, they can still have that live experience. So awesome. Idea. Awesome ideas. And if you have other ideas, post them, share them. We have a Facebook page at facebook.com/SpiritGroups, and we would love to hear what's working. What have you experienced that maybe didn't work so much? And, and what are some takeaways that you're putting into practice, and how's it going? I will share as we kind of, I'll share, I think I have time for one more super hot tip. Here is my super hot tip of this episode. And this is, I think for a lot of us, counterintuitive. I don't know. I think this comes from lack consciousness. Sometimes when we are nervous because we're not getting enough new people, or they're not coming back, and we start trying to fix that, like what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And our instinct sometimes is, surely I have to do more. We have to do more because we're not doing enough. We're not, that whole sense of we're not doing enough to get people to come back. And so we start adding stuff. I mean, I have seen ministries where you get their bulletin and it's like, man, it's just like throwing spaghetti at the fridge to see what people will show up at.
Yeah.
It's like, what will people do? And I think a lot of that comes from, I don't know what's going to take to get people to come back. So we just do more and more and more. And that actually is the opposite of what people really want. So I've read some studies about how people make decisions. And what they've shown is if you give people more than 2 or 3 choices, it overwhelms them. In fact, the number one reason people stop a membership is because they're overwhelmed by too many choices of things going on. And so sometimes when we think we're just providing all this wonderful, and it is wonderful programming, but the challenge is we're giving people too many choices, and it's having them feel like they can't participate without missing out on half the things that you do. So what's your experience been like that with that, Stacey? Any thoughts on that?
No, I can definitely relate to that. And, coming from a church that we do have lots of programming that we've really streamlined, we still do have a lot, and have kind of gone the small group route of, this is not the only way, but this is, if you really want to get connected in and do so. And it's immediate. It's not, we're not trying to, like you said, what all can we offer? Let's, a million and one things. It's easy. Small group. That's the first decision. You want to join a small group. Now there may be some variety in there. And it's just, it does. I mean, think about it. We're bombarded with choices on everything all day long. It's really, I think, doing ourselves a disservice if we're trying to pull the attention from people in too many different ways. And then the next thing you know, you're asking someone to join something like, oh, I've already done 7 unity things this week. I'd love to, So it's, we have to find that happy balance.
There's something that's kind of nice too about feeling like you're jumping on board with something that everyone in the community is focused on the same thing together. Like, this is what we're all doing this week, and this is what we're all doing this week. And right now, I love the small groups because, again, you have the, you can do a lot of different themes in a small group. So there's a lot of options. And still, there's one call to action. Find a small group. Find your best small group. So right now, shout out to all of you who've been posting pictures in our Facebook group. We have a group at facebook.com/groups/SpiritGroups. And right now, group leaders are being trained. I've seen some awesome pictures online. Stacey, what should people be doing right now to get ready for fall groups? It's the season.
This is happening, yes. So you're probably training your group hosts. We have several training sessions going on at Unity of Houston right now, and people are deciding last minute they want to host a group, and that's okay too. You've still got time for that, but really it's about training and then group signups. We're launching signups in just a week. We have a soft rollout right now, so getting ready for that fall series that's going to start at the end of this month or beginning of October is perfect time to start your fall series.
Yeah, as you get started now, if you follow the the 6-week series, the 10-week series that we've talked about in this, that's my recommendation is 6-week series in a 10-week increment. That'll take you right through Thanksgiving, and it's perfect timing for getting people connected and diving in. So we have talked about reaching your explorers as part of this engagement strategy. We've talked about engaging your explorers. So what is next? Next time we're going to be talking about helping your newly engaged members embrace your mission, like really diving deep in what is it that you are teaching and how do you embrace that mission?
Yeah. And so if you're enjoying these episodes, please post a comment or share with your friends and colleagues. We'd love to hear what you think and hear your questions and connect with you.
Yes, we would love to connect with you. And if you have comments or you want to post some questions in advance for our next episode, you can post them on our Facebook page, facebook.com/SpiritGroups. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Stacy, for being here. So much fun.
Thank you, Mindy. I love talking about this stuff.
We'll see you next time right here on The Leading Edge.